Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you want to find yourself in this weird, wild, wacky world we're in. This is another scene for Unmask Orlando, the Werewolf the Apocalypse venue. This evening's scene is set at the heart of Aeolus, the sept in the Ocala National Forest in Ocala, Florida. This evening. Really? I can't get through my intro? Okay. Here, have a snack. And let me finish my intro in peace. Quit whining at me and take your snack. Jeez. Anywho, this evening we find ourselves at the pack house of the Black Furies. And at the moment, several of them are kind of just sitting outside. It has been an excruciatingly long couple of days dealing with continually performing the Soothe the Scars rite for those that were pulled out of the hive recently. So they're taking a much needed break in the yard and relaxing.
Yeah, Ismini has not really been taking part of that because she doesn't know the right. Um, she has picked up um, starting to actually train at like trainings grounds or whatever place they use for training. So she can build up her, well, physique a little bit more, and is yeah, returning from that, probably wearing like a tank top that you know, looks sweaty, like the rest of her does. And well, actually going back to her apartment, maybe like with a little bit of a detour to just see, what's up, if she can assist somewhere. Um, she hasn't really been doing much, which, is nice for a change when, you've been on the run for a while, on the move, I should say. God damn it, English. Um, and yeah, she'll approach the Black Fury zone, and we'll see all of them sitting outside. And does the she will still do the
Yeah, we'll pull them
perform.
up so you can actually see all of them.
Hmm. Yeah, she'll stop and like I said, present her neck respectfully to those who are sitting there. Actually, making sure that she's below them when she does so, because you know.
Estrella kind of waves her off. Come, sit down with us.
Thank you, Raya. And she'll sit down and from like her pocket will grab like a bottle of water and drink from it and offer the other. Actually, offers the others first before she would drink from it.
They each kind of motion to glasses that are sitting on the little table that they're sitting at. They've all got, tea, water, lemonade, whatever each one prefers.
In that case, Ismini will not and will drink from it because at least she presented to the others first. She knows her litany, even if her player doesn't always.
So, you're new, aren't you? I don't recognize you.
Yes, Raya, I'm Ismini Spiros, uh, Philodox Cleath, Black Fury tribe, the Hobbit.
Estrella nods. Estrella Valerie. Deeded Athena's fury. Born on two legs under a full moon. Elder of the Black Fury. These two are my children. Iris Valerie. Deeded calls the night. Born on two legs under a gibbous moon. Adrian of the Black Fury. Uh, Matthias will give her a little nod. Matthias Valerie, deeded claws of ice. Metis, Philodox, Fostern of the Black Fury.
She'll, oh, at this point, just tips up her head and then lowers it down. I think she's already need to do it. But just, out of respect for their ranks, she kind of raise up her chin and then lowers it down again and says, "It's a pleasure to meet all of you, Ryas. I hope I was not interrupting."
No, we are just relaxing. It's been a trying week, to say the least.
I can understand. I apologize. I'm not able to help.
I can teach you the right if you would like.
I I would not mind helping out. I We have been on the SEP for a few weeks and I've not found much of a way to make myself useful. So I would like to repay the hospitality that has been given to, well, the three of us.
She nods. Yes, it's been a lot of listening to what the poor kin went through while they were in there. It hasn't been easy.
I can imagine it is
Because out
often.
of character, I don't know if you know how that particular rite works, but you have to detail what happened to rid yourself of the pain of the memory.
Okay, now I do.
Yeah, it's rough.
hmm Yeah. Ismini will, nod. Um, Maybe she's seen it being performed before. I can imagine her grandmother may have known it. So she'll nod and says, "I can imagine it's cannot. It sh- is not easy. We Garu should protect her kin, and failing to do so is already difficult to accept. To then hear their stories in detail with the feeling that we should have prevented it must be very stressful."
It is. I don't know if anyone told you how this all started.
I have been informed, yes. I had hoped to be able to be with the group that, well, went in, but I had some personal things to deal with.
It happens. We were all called in, but
I was glad to be able to keep an eye on the sept while the rest were working.
Which is always appreciated. There was the distinct risk that someone could have infiltrated the sept while we were gone. With so many of us being away.
It, yeah, I realized at that point that I am a little behind on my physical training. We've done a lot of traveling, and that does not lend itself very well for exercising. So I
Estrella
suppose I should.
smiles a little bit. Well, I train MMA fighters. If you want any training, all you have to do is ask.
I would appreciate that. I've not been a client for long, and my training was mostly focused on the social side of being a philodox. I've had basic combat training, of course, like any Valkaru should, but I would like to improve myself. I There are things that we need to fight for, and I'm more than willing to play my part in it.
Well, the doors of my gym are always open.
Thank you, Raya.
She'll, there's a bag sitting down next to her. She digs around in it for a minute and pulls out a card and hands it to her. It's got an address and, stuff for a gym.
Is it in the city, Raya?
It is.
I have not gone into the city much. A Chadagaya Caleb is taking me into the city earlier today. I will need to find my bearings there as well.
Indeed. The city can be confusing if you're not careful.
The cities here are quite different than they are in Europe. As out of character, of course, Ismini has a Greek accent. Um, I
Estrella actually
thought,
does as well.
okay, well, I'm not gonna,
She's a first generation Greek immigrant, so
mhm, I'm not gonna insult any Greek people by
yeah, God
trying
no, me either.
to do an
The
accent.
the only accent I attempt is an Irish one,
No, I'm not even gonna do that.
even that's
Like,
not great.
I have a great Dutch accent, but
Just because 'cause you're Dutch.
yeah, exactly. So I'm happy I can English so that in a way that people can understand. So I'm not gonna try my hand at accents.
Right. Nope. Oh, I can also train you here, though. The training grounds are more than well enough equipped.
Yeah, I have. She kind of looks down at herself in her sweaty shirt. I just came from the training grounds,
What
but
did you think?
it looks very decent. It looks better than, well, at least better equipped than where I was raised.
We do try. Our alpha's a galliard, so it tends to be more about the storytelling aspects, but we do have an Arun on the Elder Council, so she tends to get things done for those of us that prefer the physical side of things.
Except where I hail from was, well, we didn't get attacked a lot when I grew up there, so it was quiet. We mostly lended our aid to neighboring septs who were closer to the well, problematic areas. Like I said, we it's not that we weren't fighters because we're Garu, but my training was a little bit more focused on the social side of being a Garu.
As it generally is in the Philodox. Oh, excuse me.
Uh, mm, yeah, yes, Raya. I mean, but even a Philodox should fight to the best of their capability.
You see Matthias just kind of nodding. Yep.
Actually,
Damn right
Amelia
we
looks a
should.
little grim when she says that.
Don't like fighting?
I don't think anyone necessarily likes fighting, but
Tell that to my mom. The stray just kind of narrows her eyes at Matthias.
Smina looks
Sorry,
away.
Mom.
She looks away. This is not a discussion she's going to be a part of.
Sorry, Mom.
If there's a need for fighting, we will fight, and I'll fight as well as I can, and I will not hold back.
You train with her, she'll have you ready to fight just about anybody. Seen her take out men twice her size. That just makes Estrella smile a little bit. And that's no small feat, because she's not small. She's about 5'11",
Hmm.
probably close to 200 pounds of solid muscle.
I think any Black Fury would be incredibly proud to have that being said about them.
She kind of ruffles Matthias's hair. Makes him frown a little bit, but he doesn't say anything.
And this Mini will again look away because, family stuff is not something she's going to get in between as well.
So, I assume you heard about the upcoming moot to discuss our interpretation of the litany.
I was not aware it was a moot. I thought it was.
It's more so a meeting, but there will be several very important figures attending, including the head of the Judges of Doom.
I will. I will be there, Raya.
Matthias will be going as well as his twin sister, wherever she's gotten off to. He's kind of got that "don't look at me" look on his face. It's like, I don't know where the fuck she's at.
Is it necessary to discuss the interpretation of the litany then?
I believe there are some aspects that are very up for debate.
I always learned that that was the thing with the Philodoxus. That's we always debate the litany.
Yes, some of it is very open to interpretation. And I think they just want to figure out what our sept's interpretation is going to be going forward.
I see. Well, I'm only a Cleath, but I am looking forward to learn from those of higher station.
It'll be nice. There will be several elder Philodox there that you can both learn something from.
Yes, Raya.
And we have two of them that sit on our elder council. You should seek them out at some point. They may not be Black Fury, but
It is something I've noticed in a few septs in the United States that I visited, Raya, that they are more mixed septs here.
the sept is quite mixed. It wasn't always. At its founding, it was primarily the Wendigo and Uktena.
Well, that makes sense, right?
It does. Of course, our alpha is still Wendigo. But the sept itself was actually opened. The cairn was opened by a child of Gaia. The one who made that howl about the meeting.
So the sept is not that old then.
It is not. 13 years, I want to say.
Did we reclaim this cairn, or was it newly founded?
Newly founded.
That's quite rare, especially in a populated area such as this.
Indeed.
I'm I'm glad that we can still find cairns that have not been polluted.
We have Alexei to thank for this one. He is one of our staunchest allies.
Actually, Raz, now that we're talking about Sept, I realized that I've forgotten to ask this, and well, so also I've forgotten to pay my respect to the totem of the Sept, as I'm not aware of what
The
spirit the
totem
totem of the
is
Sept is.
Aeolus.
I will I will find a theurge to help me find a proper way to, well, pay homage to our totem spirit then.
Our former keeper of the land might be able to help you with that. I believe her name is Seeker.
I will look for them. Is the Sept actually in need of either guardians or keepers? I would not have issue with either of these positions, and sometimes they're hard to come by.
As for guardians, you'll want to speak to either the worm foe or the warder, depending on which one is more available. David tends to be walking the grounds in Lupus, but Gabriel is a little bit easier to find.
She nods as she just makes a mental note of these names. Thank you, Raya. It would probably help to, well, like I said,
Actually, we're probably seeking a new keeper of the land now. Our former keeper was recently made our right master. As Alexei didn't want the position back.
I the person who trained me was a theurge, but I am not very well trained in, well, I have some knowledge regarding the spirits, but I take it a theurge would be much more suited for the job of a keeper of the land.
Indeed. I believe Alexei is giving our former keeper some options, and she will be making her decision and putting it forward to the council.
Then I will wait to offer my assistance to the keeper of the land when one of them is chosen.
That should happen soon. Alexei is nothing if not punctual.
Well, thank you at least for your information. It was helpful, Reyes.
It was a pleasure meeting you. It's Minnie. May I call you Minnie?
Um,
Or would you prefer it's Minnie?
she's thinking on that. I would. Hmm,
Never thought about it.
not necessarily. And she's lying about that, by the way. Um, like, I don't mind rolling my subterfuge for it if you want me to.
Go
Uh,
ahead.
okay. Let me see Discord. I need to open on my phone. Mm. Let me see. Orlando. Werewolf, probably somewhere below. Yes, dice roller. And then I need to look up her dice pool. So that is manipulation, subterfuge, pure breed. X. Okay. Where is my pure breed? Yeah, figured. Okay. Wow, those ones. I have one success.
Let's see how Estrella does on the peony.
I mean, it's not that hard to tackle this.
Nope. Nope, she sees nothing.
Wow.
Now, let's see how Matthias does. Because he's really good. That's 6 successes for Matthias.
Mm-hmm.
You see him kind of eye you just a little bit when you say that. He doesn't say anything. But you can tell he probably caught that.
Yeah. I think with that amount of successes over her one success, he at least, like, I take it you will roll once more for.
Yeah,
Uh,
you know what? I'll roll for Iris.
but yeah, like I said, with 5 successes over her one, she can he can see that it's not that she's not given it any thought. Oh
Dear
wow.
Lord, that's another 6
Okay.
successes.
You know what? Fuck it. They can both see it. So she's more considering, like, she's considering her answer and she's questioning what to say. And they can see, like, there's some old pain there. And she finally says, uh, my sister calls me Izzy. It's, if you want to shorten, I would prefer
Is he?
Izzy.
That's fine.
And that is actually, like, that's the truth. Um, but yeah, especially when she said Minnie, there was a thing there, like some old pain on her face.
Yeah, Matthias is going to ask her about that later. He's making mental note of that.
No, rather not. you know.
Also, next to Matthias, you'll notice that there's a cane next to where he's sitting.
Okay, there's a cane. Noted.
Is he then?
Thank you, Raya.
It has been a pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure was all mine, and thank you again for the information that you were willing to share with me. I will not disturb you any further.
If you have any questions, feel free to come to one of us. Matthias has been on this sept since his birth, so Iris for half of her life.
Miss Minnie will nod and gets up and again does the chin raise, and will walk away. She will actually do the appropriate thing of, like, um, not turning her back and walking backwards until she is a good
Mhm.
bit away, before turning around and heading towards the direction of the apartments.
Okay. Actually, you guys' apartments are right next to the ones they use for the guests. So, I'm gonna give you one more quick encounter before you get inside. Outside of the apartments, this young lady is sitting with a probably 9-month-old boy with curly brown hair. She smells very much like Child of Gaia, but the baby smells very strongly of Ghetto Fenris. I'm talking Pure Breed 5 Ghetto Fenris.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Miss Minnie will. Um, I don't believe from, like, just passing by you can tell Garou from kin. So she'll look, sniff, and not entirely sure what to do. She'll nod friendly.
She'll stand up and kind of shift the baby over onto one of her hips and extends a hand. Claudia Moreau.
The awkward silence is there, as as Minnie kind of expects more, and then it's not coming, and she's like, "Oh,
Um, Child of Gaia kinfolk, I think.
oh,
This is all kind of new to me.
uh, my apologies." Miss Minnie will, shake a hand at that point. I am I'm Miss Minnie Spiras. I'm Cleat Philodox, Black Furies, uh, Homid born.
You see her smile a little bit at the mention of the Black Furies.
Are you our neighbor?
Technically, Eric's father is, but I'm taking care of him, so while he's down in Miami dealing with some stuff for school.
That's Eric, as she points at the kid.
Yes, this is Eric.
Pleasure to meet you, Eric. As she will, take the, like, hand her pink to the baby and just shake it up and down. And
He kind of squeals and giggles and grabs your finger. That's his now.
Miss Minnie will smile at that because she she does like kids. So yeah, she'll just let him have her finger for as long as he likes.
He seems to like you.
Uh, well, I hope that's a good thing.
I hope so too. I may not be his mother biologically, but I love him like he were mine.
You're his caretaker then, when his father is not there.
I'm his father's girlfriend, I suppose.
Ah, my apologies. I'm still learning the social connections between everyone on Sept.
Trust me, I'm pretty new to this myself. I wasn't raised amongst the Garu. In fact, neither of my parents are Garu. One is kin, like myself, but I didn't have anything to do with the Garu until my sister had her first change.
My parents weren't Garu either, but they were raised within the nation. My grandmother was Garu.
My father's actually, well, he's Fae.
I have never met a Fae before.
I'll have to introduce you to my father. Then again, you met Iris, right? She's a Black Fury like you.
Yes.
That's my father's girlfriend.
Uh, noted.
It's a little weird to see him dating someone other than my mama, but
Well, I as long as he's happy, right? I take it.
as long as he's happy. And she seems to make him happy.
There's a lot of really close families here, I've noticed.
It
That's
happens a little bit. It seems like anyway.
it's probably a good thing. Families should be close.
I think so. Family's important.
She's she nods, but doesn't really respond to it. So, do you like it here then? Now that you're well, you know. know that you know what you know.
I didn't get very long to know before she kind of swallows a little bit and starts to tear up. I was one of the kinfolk that was taken.
Oh, um, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
No, it's okay. It's just still kind of fresh, so she
Yes,
kind of hugs Eric a little closer.
I can understand that they say that things get easier if you talk about it. I'm probably not the best to talk about it, but if you ever need someone, well, we do live next door, so it's just basically me and my sister and, well, I guess our ward or our guide. I think that's the best way to say it.
She nods.
My sister's kinfolk, probably a bit younger than you are.
24. She
Oh,
looks significantly younger than she is.
yeah. Ismini will kind of blink because that makes her actually younger than. So she's like, well, quite a bit younger than.
I I don't look my age, I know. Most people tend to think I'm 16, 17.
Well, that's about Andriana's age, yeah.
Sammy, Eric's father, is 17.
Yeah, I'm a little older, just 20, you know.
But if I feel the need to talk, I'll definitely come talk to you.
Our door is, well, it's not always open because we close the door, but there's a doorbell and you can ring it and
Oh, by the way,
enter if
she
someone
has
wants.
a kind of light French accent. I'm not going to do it because, dear God.
Yeah, well, Ismini's accent, so.
Exactly.
So, you're not from around here?
My mama and papa are French. I guess I kind of picked up the accent from them.
Of course. Yeah, that makes sense.
And I speak French fluently, but that's, again, thanks to them. No, I was raised around here.
They say that America has very good burgers. Like, Ismini is changing the topic.
Burgers are pretty good, I have to admit.
We've
Yeah.
not been able to try them yet.
Well, maybe if I can get some free time, we can go out for burgers.
Yeah, that sounds like fun, and I'm sure that if you would allow me to bring Andriana, she would like that a lot.
Of course. And I'll bring this little guy.
Sounds like a date.
I guess.
She's not quite sure if she ever used that word correctly.
I will see you then.
Yeah, yeah, I'll see you.
She
Bye.
smiles and kind of heads back into the apartment to go change Eric's diaper.
And yeah, as Minnie will get to her apartment.
And with that, we are at almost an hour. I think we can end our scene. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. This has been another scene for Unmasked Orlando. We'll see you next time.